if you go up to the second floor with like a little patio area, there's like this beautiful grand view of like Jiufen and a bit of Geelong, and just so much scenery, all the little buildings and the hills, and especially with a nice piping hot cup of tea that they blend right there. It really gave me a nice feeling of like, wow, this is the beginning of like a new chapter in my life. This is like one of those cheesy things you see in movies where like the character will go to a new place and they're not sure about it, but then they see this big sprawling like wide shot view of whatever place they're going to, and they're just like,
yeah,
wow.
You're tuning into the Fox and Burger podcast, where we bring you closer to the Asian side of the furry fandom, one episode at a time. I'm your host, Michael the Matcha Fox.
And I'm Burger.
And today is our annual wrap-up episode for 2023.
In this episode, Michael and I reflected on our experiences since the start of this year. We talked about Michael's trip back to Texas and how happy he was seeing his family and friends again, how I was first introduced to Jiufen and the beautiful view welcoming me to Taiwan, and how which of our guests we interviewed really made this year special.
We're really excited to sit down and unwind for a bit. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. We wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving and all that, and all the holidays we missed. Welcome to another episode of the Fox and Burger podcast.
Yeah, welcome everyone. 圣诞节快乐. I probably butchered that, I'm sorry.
A little bit, yeah. I would say that it has been, an amazing journey this year, going through like not just the podcast, but like I think in our lives. Having like lapping another like full round of living in Taiwan for the both of us, and then also like I think we've always been like consistent for our episodes and everything, so it's crazy to be here after like running the podcast for just about 3 years, almost actually. I think we started in, was it January 2021, was it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're about to lap like an actual full 3 years.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to conceptualize like how long you've been doing something, but yeah, it definitely has felt like 3 years, and it has definitely felt like a journey.
It has been such a long time, and honestly, like I know these kind of like wrap up episodes probably aren't as interesting for the guests, but I still feel like it's important to like review what you've done, evaluate, kind of think back, and maybe like meditate on what has happened, over the span of a year. Before we get into all of that, I mean, how about we just talk about what's been going on in our lives? Because, every time people tune into the podcast, it's always going to be like, ask the guest to introduce themselves. So like, I think it's okay to let people know what we've been doing. And right. I'll actually go first on this one.
All right, go ahead.
First and foremost, I graduated. I graduated with my master's in translation in late August. So about like 5.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Debt free. I had an amazing ride. To be honest, my master's program was kind of more like a translation workshop as opposed to like a research institute, I feel. But I loved almost every moment of it. Even though I took 3 years instead of 2, like I still came out debt free. I don't owe anyone any money, and came out with a master's. And that I think leads me to my next update, which is I just got a job offer with a company called Taiwan News. I'm
going to need everyone in the audience to clap.
Yeah.
Everyone, if you're clapping at home, please clap along.
Thank you so much. It is going to be for a news writer position, and like a news writer / editor position. And so we're in the process of like getting the work contract. So I haven't signed anything. So like I'm like 90% there. I just need to wait for the company to come up with the contract, and I sign that, and then I'm part of the company. So that has been the highlight of my like late November, early December.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that now you're part of a news organization. I would say the way that you sort of think about things, your mindset, your perspective, the way you kind of research things and talk about things. I would say that just doing news articles, even just translating them, I feel like that's a really good position for you to be in. Like that's a really good job for you. It really fits your personality and your mindset.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not that great of a writer, and I'm not too keen on news writing. I just prefer translation. So they did say that at the end of my probationary period, I would be able to like shift towards a more like translation heavy role instead of like a news writing role. I feel that I am okay with news writing. I'm not too thrilled about it, so I'm just hoping to get out of that position. But I guess we'll just see what happens. Yeah, like, and I appreciate the compliment, but I'll be honest with you, I just find it as an ends to a means. I mean, I want to get into more translation heavy role, which is what I studied for.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I understand that you're more into the translation side of it, but still, good luck with your current occupation, and I hope you translate a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, hope so. We'll see. If I stay with the company long enough, hopefully I will get into a translation heavy role. The other thing I wanted to say was after graduating, I got to travel Asia, and I know like a lot of people got confused by like where I was because I was like traveling so many different countries. But in September, I went to Thailand for Furry and Foursquare, and I don't know the dates off the bat, but it was like late August, early September. So it just coincided really well with my graduation. And then there was Singapore. I think I came back to Taiwan for like a week. And then I went to Singapore like the weekend after and got to see my friends, got to, hang out with some people, get a little bit tipsy with people, go do a little bit of touristy things. But it was more of like a chill hangout kind of thing. And I had a friend who was able to host me. So that was really nice. And then I think after like a 2-day break, I went to the Philippines for Philly Fur. Philly Fur is in Quezon City, to the east of Manila, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And it's a 1-day con. I was in the Philippines for about, I think, was it 4 nights, 5 days? Which is just the amount of time where I started to like, okay, like I feel like I'm going to get too tired after the 5th day. So it was like a Thursday to Tuesday kind of situation. And had a lot of fun in the Philippines. Honestly, I kind of thought like Philly Fur itself was like really small and there wasn't really much to do. But I like how I got to meet people. I like how me and Shug had a pretty decent room party. And everything in the Philippines is so cheap. Like even for Taiwanese salary standards, everything is so cheap. I remember buying a bottle of rum, even if it was low quality. Fine. It's a low quality rum. Bottle of rum, the cheapest one I found was like $3 for 750 mils, because 750 mils is usually the standard. That's usually the capacity the volume that you would buy for. Right. And so like $3 and Coke is like 20 cents or something like that, 20 cents USD. So it's like you can definitely have a great time in the Philippines and it's not going to cost too much. So I think like, to me, that was more fun, like just hanging out with people, drinking, chatting. That was more fun than the con itself. But I feel like you knew I was going to say that. Yeah. And then after the travels in Asia, I went back to Texas. And I went back to Texas for 3 weeks, had a lot of fun with like my old friends. I saw one of my old teachers from high school, got to see my grandmother. I did a very short like oral history with her, kind of like a biography project, which I won't really get into this recording because that'll take forever. Did a small oral history project with her. I got to see my mom. She drove down from Arkansas, had like a lot of good food. I had Whataburger again. I had IHOP. I know one of my friends in Texas is going to kill me for saying IHOP, but had IHOP. I had, I had like a monster pizza. I think you saw the picture on Facebook where it's like the like one slice was already a freaking meal. That was insane. That was just, that was really cool. It's a very expensive pizza, but each slice is basically a meal. So, I think it's worth it. Tried several beers because like beer culture in Taiwan is not really a thing. Like craft brewing, I should say. Got to see one of my friends named Serge. He left Dallas for Colorado. I forget, Denver. He went to Denver. One of my good friends that I've known ever since like the UT Dallas days, my college days. So got to see people, did cool things. Went to the state fair, that kind of stuff. And then I came back to Taiwan like on October the 20th. And then, did Infernity. And of course, like we can maybe I won't talk too much about Infernity because like I'm pretty sure you have something to say about it. Maybe I'll just add like short commentary or something.
All right.
But yeah, Inferno was great. I was on a post-con trip. That was very tiring, but it's pretty cool. And of course, like I can try to like I'll just share pictures for these things, and we just like show them on the screen. But yeah, it's been a ride basically, like ever since like late August graduation all the way till now, like early December. We're recording on the 1st of December right now, and it's so crazy that this year is about to end, and like I finally can see like what's it like the silver lining on the clouds. Like I feel like my life is finally in a position where it's like I can be happy, I can be proud.
Well, I think it's amazing that you found that silver lining, and you're very privileged to be able to travel to all these different places in Asia. That's something that I regret not doing at all. Like I've mainly just stuck in Taiwan, despite having the funds. I just never gave myself the opportunity like you have. And I feel like it's also just a really good graduation present to like travel around, go to different cons, go to different see all your friends and all that, and see your family too. Man, I really do miss my family back home.
Yeah. So. I definitely know my privilege, and like I know that like being a student allowed me to, like if there's a day that you don't go to class, you could just do whatever you want basically, as long as you get your assignments on time. So that was the benefit of being a student. Now I don't have as much money as you, I don't have like steady income, but I felt like, do a little bit of voice acting here, some tutoring over there, just kind of scrimp and save. And I was able to make it work. And, I've had people who were very nice to me and showed me around and let me stay at their places. So, traveling on the cheap can definitely be a thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I had to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the concept of budgeting. Yeah.
How about you? What about updates on your end?
Well, for me, I'm actually going to be traveling somewhere, finally. The circumstances of that is not quite what I expected, but the basic thing is that I will be leaving Taiwan and heading back home to Texas. It's not something I wanted to do now. It's something I wanted to do a little bit later, but due to certain circumstances regarding my previous employment at other schools, I don't want to go too much into detail about it, but basically, I kind of have to go back home and leave Taiwan for a while. I've had a lot of good memories. I've had a lot of good experiences here in Taiwan. I don't regret it once. I never regret once traveling to different places around the world. I think it's probably one of the best things I've ever decided to do.
Amen.
Yeah. I know you can probably agree with that just from how much you've traveled too. But for me, traveling back home, I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to make it the best that I can do, because the best is basically all a person can do. Whatever you get thrown in front of you, you pick it up, you figure out what you can do with it, and then you make it successful if you can.
What's like one thing that, you miss a lot about Texas that you're happy that you'll get to see or do again?
Well, the most obvious answer would be certain cuisine. I'm finally going to be able to eat like proper Tex-Mex again.
Yeah.
Like the one or two places that I'm able to find really good Mexican or Tex-Mex food here in Taiwan, there's always those options. But in Texas, in America in general, you're going to have a lot more variety, I would say.
And I do miss that variety.
Yeah, I would say places like Taco Bell and Taco Bueno and Taco Cabana are just guilty pleasures.
Yeah. Like I definitely think, like a lot of people like hate on Taco Bell, but one, if you understand that it's just Tex-Mex, I think people will stop getting mad. And two, like it's still pretty cheap, even with inflation. Like it's still one of the cheaper options.
Yeah.
Did you have any other updates or?
Any other updates? Well, in terms of other updates, I suppose I'm actually going to be doing some more content outside of Fox and Burger. I mean, now that I'm not a host, it's given me a bit more time to develop some more creative projects, and they're not ready yet. Obviously, just because I'm packing things up and moving back to the States now, but I am going to be trying to do some more music-related projects, like doing covers, doing videos related to like topics discussing different music concepts. So that's in the works. I don't want to say too much about that because this is just me as a person. If it's not like at least 70 or 80% like figured out or created, I don't like showing it to people. Like I want to make sure I put my best foot forward whenever I show people things that I'm working on, or at least interested in working on. So,
and this content is going to be on your, is it Lightning Runner channel, or?
That's something I'm still trying to figure out as well.
Okay.
But yeah, because like it would be kind of annoying to try and make a new YouTube channel just for this stuff. I feel like it would still fit within the Lightning Runner brand or channel at least. So it's probably going to be there. But obviously, I will keep y'all updated about that. And obviously, this new content that I'm working on, it will involve my new character Tung Hai, the pink dragon that I've finally been able to show off at different conventions and all that. So yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait to see content in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about our end of year stats. So we started the year 2023 with 262 subs. And now we're sitting at 376 as of last night, I think. And so that's a 114 sub growth. That's really nice to know that, you know, we were literally one of those YouTube channels where it's like 2 subs, one from you, one from me, and that was it. We were a channel back in 2021, started with 0 subs. I can't even remember when we hit 100, but thank you everyone. Like, it is so amazing and it is so heartwarming to know that there's people out there actually listening to the podcast. I know that long form media is not as popular, and I know they can sometimes get a little bit boring. Like, it's not the same as like watching a movie. Mm-hmm. And so it's not the same as like watching a 60-second YouTube short or something. But it really means, from the bottom of our heart, it really means a lot that people would sit and listen to the episodes. Thank you so much.
Whether you have it on your screen or you're listening to it in the background, we appreciate everyone that listens to our podcast, and especially the people that, you know, leave us comments and share our videos to their friends and all that. So once again, thank you all for being a good little audience. Yes, pat on your head.
And thank you to all the guests. You know, like we interviewed like at least like 30 something guests, because there's some wrap up episodes. So it's like 30 something, 35 or whatever guests. So thank you to the 35 guests, you know, who spent at least a couple of hours to talk to us, to be interviewed on the podcast. It's so funny because like if we ever get up to like 100 guests, we have like a mini FurCon. If we gathered up all 100 guests into a room, we would have like a mini FurCon, or like a really big meet. And I think that's really cool. Of course, like that would be years down the road, but yeah, whenever our guest number hits 100, we should have some kind of like virtual convention or something. That'd be kind of cool.
I do like the idea of a 100 person meeting, actually. Kind of reminds me of, do you remember like LIFC Online when they had those big, like, at the end of the convention when they did a big, like, video call with like everyone on the screen, and they did a big, like, screenshot of everyone attending, quote unquote?
Well, I think it was more like they went to different voice channels, so it wasn't like a big one. So like just to clarify, it was like they'll go to different voice channels, everyone turns on their webcams, and I think like they'll just stitch that into one giant screenshot. It was more like that, because like Discord has limits about how many people can turn their webcams on and be in a voice chat. It was like 25, I think, without like Nitro or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, thanks for clarifying. Yeah, that's definitely an idea.
I think we could do something like that, or just a giant VC, you know, with webcams off. But yeah, so continuing down the list, according to YouTube analytics, we hit 10,900 views this year in 2023 as of like last night, which I think is like November 30th. Yeah, so 530 hours in watch time. We had 12 episodes published and then 19 shorts published. And so just from doing one episode per month, we've been able to be consistent, and we've never missed a month. I don't think we've ever missed a month of an episode. There was always one episode released per month, and that's been our was it modus operandi for the past like 2 years, I think. I think the first year we tried doing 2 episodes per month, and now we do 1 episode per month. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think just from being a content creator myself, the one thing that I've noticed that really keeps a channel afloat is consistency. Like, just choose a time or choose a day or some sort of frequency where you will post content, videos, whatever. People will expect that. It's like when people expect something to happen on a YouTube channel and it comes up on their feed, and then like, time to watch this video again. And it helps the channel too, because obviously it keeps you in a nice structure as well. So it all works.
Yeah. People like structure, people like schedules, so it's like, they'll know what comes out. They like consistency.
Exactly. Yeah. I would say now that some people might focus too much on the numbers, but I would say focus more on like the ratios and the percentages rather than just the raw numbers. Like,
Yeah.
if you do the math, we're still doing good in terms of like growth and production. So as long as we keep this like steady path that we're doing, and whatever improvements we need to do, we'll talk about improvements later. But as long as we keep doing what we're doing, then I think we are absolutely going to grow in a nice, organic, steady rate.
Yeah, I think our growth has been steady, and overall I'm pretty happy with it. I think that, I was hoping we could get up to 400 this year, but I think like it's probably not going to happen. But that's fine. Like I still think like, what was it? We had like 100 something subs growth this year already, and I think like that's already pretty massive for us.
Right. Yeah.
And like I also think it's worth mentioning that we are a podcast primarily. We don't really do YouTube videos, like standard YouTube videos. And so like our content is a little bit different. And I understand how like not everyone likes to listen to podcasts. And I think that like it sucks, but it is long form media. It's not YouTube shorts, though we are doing YouTube shorts of the podcast to be specific. But yeah.
Now, if I can ask, did you have any favorite episodes from this year?
I had a couple, and I'll cheat by giving a couple of favorite episodes. I would say like my number one favorite episode was the Cheetah Paws one. He's been a longtime friend of mine for about 5 years, and we started to kind of like talk more. Thankfully, this year, every time he goes to Taiwan, he usually stays over at my apartment, and so getting to actually see like the person behind the face. And it's just like, like he wears like a mask sometimes, he has to be PC right. Sometimes. He didn't really talk too much about his background, like when I met him. But now we did talk about his background. We did talk about him coming out. We did talk about him like working hard to, achieve the things that he wants in his life. And so he is by far one of the hardest workers I ever met. And I was really happy to finally get to like just sit down and talk with him. And then the second favorite episode would be the Rachia episode. He is, he's from a country that we've never been to before, which is Cambodia. Even if like the overall like energy was kind of like maybe not as energetic as Titania or Halissa, I just felt like we were exploring unknown territory, which we kind of are with the podcast. Right. But I think like for that episode specifically, it was a place we'd never been before. It was like the first time we got a lead on a Cambodian furry, and the more amazing thing is like they were okay with being on the podcast. They're okay with being interviewed, because not everyone wants to be interviewed. They're shy, or they don't want to be recorded because it's it's going to be made public. So thank you, Rachia, for representing Cambodia so far.
Oh yeah I'll definitely step in and agree with you with the Rachia episode being one of my favorites as well. I've said it before, but like I am fascinated with learning more about lesser known Asian countries. So learning about whatever furry community there is in Cambodia, that was a very big plus. I want to say that Ruth's episode is also one of my favorites as well. I love Ruth's personality. I love the stories she told. I also appreciate her like giving us so much to work with in terms of like the kind of pictures and media we could use. Whatever.
I remember she was so helpful with that. Yeah, like the only other person who could match that even more would be Araya, Omicrono. Like she got on us. She was the first guest in a long time to say, oh, this is the wrong picture, this is the wrong video. Can you take this out, or can you edit that? But Ruth was the kind of person she was the guest who like maybe number 2 who gave us so much to work with, like work in progress pictures, like art pictures, blah blah blah. Like you know that was amazing.
Oh yeah, anything to make our videos more interesting, I absolutely love adding that to our YouTube videos.
What about like favorite moments in Asia, like overall, not just this year, but it could just be like from 2020 to 2023. And how about you go first? Do you have any like favorite moments from Asia? It could be from a con or a trip or a hangout.
Well, favorite moments in Asia over the past 3 years, for me, that would mainly have to be around Taiwan, since I didn't see much of the rest of Asia. I'll go ahead and tell you a little story about like one of the first amazing views that I saw in Taiwan. You've been to Jiufen, right?
Yeah, I've been a couple times.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times too. But the first time I ever went to Jiufen, it was a pretty spectacular place. But you only really get the best views in Jiufen if you go to this one place called the Ame Tea House. Now, this is with me and a few other people who are in my group that were doing like job training for the school who shall not be named, because I don't like that school anymore. Anyway, Ame Tea House, if you go to Taiwan, if you go to Jiufen, absolutely go to Ame Tea House. If you go up to the second floor with like a little patio area, there's like this beautiful grand view of like Jiufen and a bit of Geelong, and just so much scenery, all the little buildings and the hills. I'll show you a picture of it later.
Yeah,
and,
I've done that. I've done the Ame Tea House. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with a nice piping hot cup of tea that they blend right there. It really gave me a nice feeling of like, wow, this is the beginning of like a new chapter in my life. This is like a grand, like, it's like one of those cheesy things you see in movies where like the character will go to a new place and they're not sure about it, but then they see this big sprawling, like wide shot view of whatever place they're going to. And they're just like,
Yeah.
wow, you know?
And this was like back in 2020?
Yeah.
Like when you
back in
first came.
Yeah, back in August.
Yeah. That is a great like start to a journey.
If I had to pick for another favorite moment here in Asia/Taiwan, it would be every time I performed with the Time Travelers Band over at Infernity. Now, first of all, Michael, thank you so much for introducing me to such amazing people as Teru Fox and May.
Shout out to that guy. Shout out to both of them.
Yeah, basically, both of them were so gracious to let me be part of their band for last year and this year. Now, unfortunately, because I'm not going to be in Taiwan for a while, I don't know if I'm going to be part of their band for 2024's Infernity, but just being part of a band, being able to perform on stage in costume, in a fursuit, that feels like an absolute dream to me. I love being able to perform and make people smile, playing music. That's basically where I feel the most comfortable, performing in front of people, like on a stage after having practiced for so long, getting it right, just rocking the whole place with a whole bunch of, with friends, especially. Yes. Moments like that really keep me glued to the fandom, glued to Taiwan, and hopefully I can have a moment like that again.
That is well said. I am so happy that you had those experiences. And if I'm not mistaken, you did the Senpai Band twice, right? Was it this year and last year?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah. And I feel so bad that I usually am not able to make those shows because I'm running my own party. But I'm so happy that you're able to have those experiences. And like, those are things that will stick with you forever, I would imagine.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have any favorite moments?
Yeah, I have a favorite moment I'll share. And I think I can say that speaking of 2023, right? Like this is my favorite moment of 2023. I would say my favorite moment has been going to Thailand for Square and Forget. If I was not living in Taiwan right now, I would probably be living in Thailand. Thailand is like my old stomping grounds. I've been there like 4 times, I think 5 times actually, 5 times in my entire life. I didn't think I would be going back again. And Forget, it was their first year. And it's always nice to support new cons. It's always nice to see growth. It's always nice to see growth. And people who are like well established, like Thai Tales, they've been doing it for like 5 or 6 years. this is Fergus's first year. It's nice to see that there's options. And I also think like they're all friends with each other. Like these people are not like, antagonistic towards one another. So
Yeah.
I think like they communicate with each other, and I think they help each other out. I liked going to Floating Market. That was, even though it's kind of touristy. Well, I went to the one that's like, I don't even know the name, but it's the one to the west of Bangkok. Like there's several actually. There's several floating markets, which is something I later learned. This one is to the west of Bangkok. It wasn't the one where like you can buy stuff like on the river. It was more like a river boat ride, I would say. It's more like a boat ride. It wasn't like, you're actually going to a market. So I think maybe next time I'll do it. I think it was Saturday. No, yeah, it was actually Saturday that we did First Square, which is a Dodenshikan. And then right after that, we did Floating Market. And then Ferget is a one-day con on Sunday. And I believe the organizers of First Square and Ferget, these are two separate events, by the way. They're two separate events technically, but I believe the organizers are the same people. They just wanted to separate the events. So Ferget was a one-day con. Kind of felt like a firm, actually. I love the hotel. I like the hotel room. Super cheap. I forgot how much the suite cost, but me and Tarkin went together. He had a lot of fun. It was his first time in Thailand, and I gave him a really good experience because we both went to Floating Market. We had a great room party of like 30 people. International room party as always. Like it is like, we had like the same stuff Michael will always do at a room party: rum and cokes, Sprite and gins. Got a shit ton of ice. We had pizza. We had a lot of chips. I saw it, dude. They had like mala pizza. We ordered mala pizza from the pizza company. I love the pizza company. It's like it blows like Pizza Hut out of water. It might even blow Domino's out of water, and it might even blow Papa John's out of water. It's Thailand's pizza chain. Yeah,
that's a pretty strong opinion to have.
It'll definitely blow Little Caesars out of the water. The pizza company. It's literally just called the pizza company. Great pizza, fairly reasonable price, a little bit pricey for Thai people, but fairly reasonable. And then what was it? Well, I actually arrived on Thursday, went to go see my friend Bank. He's the one who drew like a few of my commissions, and he actually had some like happy birthday art for me like a few days ago, because my birthday was on the 22nd. Met up with him for like the second time in my entire life. We went to the Husky Cafe on Friday. And then Saturday was First Square Floating Market. Sunday was Ferget. And I think Monday I left. So I think I left on a Monday instead of a Tuesday. I would normally leave on a Tuesday, but I decided to take a grab with Tarkin. That's why. So we went to the airport at the same time, basically. And he got me into one of the airport lounges for free. You can do like a +1. They don't always do that. Depends on the lounge. So I got to go to a lounge for the first time. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's very nice. Yeah, it almost makes you feel like you're like royalty. And it's like they like free flow liquor. You can get drunk if you want, obviously within certain limits to the point that you don't get kicked out. But that was kind of cool to go to a lounge. So I did a lot of shit in that trip to Thailand within like 4 or 5 days. So that was for sure like my highlight of 2023. Yeah.
Shout out to Tarkin, by the way.
Shout out to Tarkin. Apparently, like you and him leave on the same day, I think.
Yeah, just at different times.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So shout out to Tarkin. Yeah, and I'll be seeing that guy on Sunday. I want to talk about the stuff that we improved on, because running this podcast for 3 years has definitely been, a rocky ride at some times. And I think that it's worth reviewing things that you've done and reviewing things that what works and what doesn't work. I think the first thing I want to say is one thing that we improved on is specifically communications. How do we talk to each other?
Right.
And I quickly realized that you had almost a very concise way of talking, to the point where you're condensing a lot of information into one sentence, when you could have just used maybe 3, which I think is okay. I'm not asking you to write an essay, but I felt like your messages were so compact that they left out details.
Right.
And then I also felt like you weren't really used to writing in a more formal professional tone.
Yeah.
And so that was something that I tried to teach you, and I feel like you're getting more used to that.
Yeah, it's just something I got to get used to. And it's a nice skill to have, It's not just for little hobbies or projects that you're working on. it's good to have as a professional skill, clear and concise, but like meaningful with just enough detail and in a very professional way. Just having that as part of your communication with coworkers, with managers, with whoever, that is important to have. And I appreciate that you've helped me with that sort of skill set.
I think you're getting better. You can still, work on it a little bit, but I do think that you're getting better, and I'm definitely glad like I'm teaching you. The next thing I wanted to say is like Trello and just overall like PM project management. I was more worried about you actually. I felt like I had a reminder system. I had a to-do system like in place, but I wasn't really sure if you had that. And so when I told you to do something, or there's like a task that you had to do, like, okay, get these shorts created, by the end of the month, or create this graphic in a week. And I felt like sometimes you might have forgotten, but I think because we just recently shifted to Trello, instead of just relying on text chats, and just like here, I tell you something to do, and then you write it down like on your Google Calendar. Now we have a centralized platform called Trello that we can see, the whole production schedule, at least for the month. We're doing it by the month. And so it's like they have due dates on Trello. They have implemented due dates. They have attachments, comments, descriptions. You can even do, what's it called again? Like the rich text or whatever, like, the bold, the italicized. I think it's called rich text, right? RTF or something like that. You can do RTF on Trello. Should you so have to do that. You can invite people to a board or a workspace, I think they call it. And then, that's your team. And so everyone looks at the Trello, and Trello's like relatively fast. It's like a fast like application. So launching Trello is like relatively fast as long as there's like not too many cards. Right. And I think like it's really nice to just have like an overall like view, like a top down kind of view of like, okay, here are the things we got to do by this month, Monday, get this done, Tuesday, get that, it's really nice to see all the moving pieces. And I think like that was something that we really lacked. And, we only got onto Trello like last month. I can't believe it took us that long, but I'm very happy we made the switch. And I feel my life like so much easier. Like when I give you a task like on Trello, I feel like you're usually good at sticking to it. I feel like you don't forget, too much. For as far as I know, like you've been doing most like 99% of tasks like on time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. As someone who has worked for a company that does like virtual admin stuff back in the US before coming to Taiwan, this was just some part-time freelance work that I did. We would use Trello to keep track of like different clients, different projects, different tasks. It's all very organized. It's very easy to use. I feel like this is almost like a promotional read for Trello, but we're not being sponsored. Don't worry. But yeah, like I love using Trello. I wish I could use it more often. But yeah, I'm glad that we're now using it for our productions.
One other thing that we added to our productions is shorts. And I think we started doing them at the end of last year, 2022. I think it was like December. And then we did it for this whole year. I think there was like 1 month that there was like a hiccup and we forgot to do shorts for that 1 month. But I think aside from that 1 month, like for the rest of the months, we were able to upload 2 shorts per month. Just, a simple goal, 2 shorts a month and 1 episode a month. So 3 main things had to be done.
Yep.
And we stuck with it. I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have like those baby steps. It's okay to work a little bit slower. Just test it out to see if you can handle that kind of workload.
Absolutely.
So just 1 episode a month, 2 shorts a month. And again, besides from that 1 month where there was like, we forgot to upload the shorts, I feel like we've been really consistent. We've always hit the mark. We always hit 1 episode per month.
Yeah. Shorts as a concept, it's good for promotion. And for me as an editor, I like when I'm able to do different formats and styles. I like that I'm able to like experiment with new things and like make content that's not just the same thing over and over again. I like adding on to things. I like trying new things. So doing shorts, it's been a good thing for the channel, and it's been a good thing for me as an editor.
I think shorts, like one of the things that, like it does kind of break up the monotony, like owing to what you said, piggybacking on what you said about like doing different content. I think it's like different. It does give you a way to kind of chop up the monotony of like a 1 hour long episode, I should say. Yeah. And so like, like it's also a way to entice people to come and watch the episode, you would show this one story in a short. Obviously, you can't capture the whole thing, but you share that one story, and hopefully people can feel enticed by that story, or maybe you just show half the story. I hate to bait and switch people, but like it's a way to advertise the episode, and it's a way to show like, okay, like here's like something funny from the episode or something interesting. And so like I actually didn't like the concept of shorts when it first came out, but I find myself scrolling through shorts more than actual YouTube videos nowadays. Like I actually kind of have trouble like sitting down watching like a 20-minute video sometimes. Like that's kind of like a time dedication, but I find myself scrolling through shorts like way more often, which is, that's, I guess that says something about me and my attention span.
Yeah. So now would be a good time to talk about our plans for the future. So, is there anything exciting that you want the audience to know about?
Well, we can't reveal everything, of course, but there's a few things we can reveal. So I would say that one is that we're going to do more shorts. I think we're going to do at least one short every week instead of just 2 weeks out of the month. We usually do like the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday. I'm thinking every single Wednesday we'll have a short. So we'll probably have like, was it like 52 weeks in a year? If I'm not mistaken. So we'll do 52 shorts in a year, assuming nothing goes wrong and assuming we can keep up with the schedule, because we've proven that we can have 2 shorts per month. That didn't seem to overwork us and stress us out. So I think like doing one short every single week should be doable. The next thing is vlogging. I think this is something that like, this is more of a me problem than you problem, but like it's something I really want to do, but sometimes I just don't know where to start. And maybe the point is to just start it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit camera shy. I'm also, I think it's been known to the audience for a while, but I do have like a natural like stammer to my voice. And so I don't exactly have like the personality type and the clear, concise, like language style, speaking style to make, interesting vlog videos. But like, I think like I want to try it out for at least a couple times and see, what happens. And I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think like the point is to just like start and do something and see if it works. Again, I don't think I have the right persona to run a vlog, to do vlog videos. I'm a little bit camera shy. Some people in Asia don't like to be filmed. So it's like something where like you have to ask for advance. And it's like, I'm a little bit shy. I don't always want to ask in advance, but it's something that, like you have to like just be able to ask people and like, hey, can I film you? Or can you react to like what's going on? Can you tell us what's going on? So the next con that I'll be going to, I guess by the time this episode airs, I would have already went to, is at Furry in Malaysia. So that's the con that I will do. I will try to do some vlogging. Yeah, so that's one thing that we'll also add.
Yeah, I mean, I say I really invite you to try it. Not just because it's a new thing to do, but also because I feel like you're already using your voice in front of a lot of strangers already. Whether it's like a professional client, any sort of voice acting project that you work on, and you're especially doing that just working on a podcast right now. So if you're not shy about showing off your voice to a bunch of strangers on the internet, then I don't think you should be too afraid to use your face either.
I think it's different though. Like I feel like my face and my voice, like they're two different things. And it's like, I myself don't like to upload pictures of my face on even if it's like Facebook, if it's like within a private group. I don't like taking selfies, maybe I have like a little bit of body image thing, but like, no, I would say it's a little bit different for me. Yeah. It's like a mental block, like obviously like I can just slowly work on that. I can slowly change the way I think, but it is like, I'm just one of those people who's like a little bit camera shy, don't really exactly like the way I look, that kind of stuff. And it's kind of hard to get over that initially. I'm pretty sure I will get over it, but it's a little bit hard to get over.
Yeah, I understand that. That's a completely normal thing to be worried about. So, take it at your own pace and just see how it works, So one more thing we can talk about in terms of plans for the future is something from you, audience. We want to know which guests you actually want to see on the podcast. I believe we've asked a few times before to leave a comment and let us know what you think about our videos. But we're actually looking for some more, talent to bring onto the podcast. We want to know any special furries that you guys know that you want us to interview. You all probably know someone who's really, really cool. And if you think they're cool and you think we're cool and we can be cool together, then we can do a cool thing. Basically, that's it. Yeah.
Basically, overall, like more audience interaction. Like what does the audience want? Do you think we should like do standard YouTube videos? Do you think we should do like, I don't know, more vlog videos, which was something we want to do? Do we do quizzes? I mean, do we have like game nights, on Discord? I mean, like we want to talk more with the audience. We want to talk more with you guys. Yeah. And also it's worth reminding that our audience, is primarily people living in Western countries. So whatever you guys living, in the US or in Europe, whatever you guys think or want to do, I mean, let us know. We're open. We want to know how we can provide you with like a better product and a better like viewing experience.
And to talk about something a little bit behind the scenes, whenever we have a guest that we're interviewing, after we do our recordings and all that, and after we show our guests like a draft of the YouTube video of their interview, we always ask for their feedback. We always ask for their comments. So I think it would only make sense for us to do the same thing with our audience as well. So we want everyone to be happy. We want everyone to feel like they're watching something that they really know that they are going to enjoy.
And we really want to spend a little bit of time, as we're wrapping up this episode, to just thank, every single one of you, the viewers, the guests, like everyone who has been sticking with us this long, to the end of the episode, and also to our podcast in 2023 for our viewers who have been there ever since like January 2021. We really sincerely thank everyone who watches our episodes, any of our productions, to the people who have been to our panel at Infernity, which of course is just going to be a small number. I think there was only like 20 something people, but that was really nice, to just have people show up at a bilingual panel. The journey has been rocky in some places, in some durations, in some times. But I think like overall it's a worthwhile production, and I really cannot think of any other podcast that is doing anything similar about Asian furries. And so like I think, if you are really curious about coming to Asia or knowing more about Asian furries, I say stick with us. Keep listening to the pod. Like we always like try to produce what we can, to produce the best product we can, I should say. And I think that knowing people who are actually watching the content and enjoying the content inspires us.
Just like Michael said, thank you all for continuing to watch our content, for sharing our videos, for coming back again and again. And we will hope to see you do the same. We will hope to see you again in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, we will set our sights for 2024. We already have, an idea of like what we want to do. We have given a lot of thoughts to the podcast overall, how to improve, how to tweak things, or what do we want to change? What do we want to add? And so I would say stay tuned for different content in 2024, and maybe stay tuned for more like standard YouTube videos, the things that are like extra to the podcast. Yeah. What do you say we just give the audience our social media just because it's tradition?
Yeah,
you can go first on this one.
It is tradition. Might be a bit redundant, but it is tradition.
Yeah, for socials, you can find me at Foxnack. That's FOXNAKH. I am most active on Twitter. And then I got Blue Sky like a few months ago, so I've been on Blue Sky ever since. I'm currently uploading to both, so if for some reason I'm not on Twitter, then just follow me on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is at Foxnack, the same spelling, of course, with the bluesky.social, because I think everyone has to have that, at least for now. And then the next place that I'm relatively active is YouTube. That's where you can find my mainly my voice acting stuff, and that is Foxnack as well, same spelling for all three. Definitely appreciate any subs, any follows. Hoping to upload more stuff to my private YouTube channel. And I'm noticing a lot more of my friends have been using Blue Sky. So, whenever I'm ready to jump ship, I'll just go there.
All right. And as for me, I am also on YouTube. You may find me as Lightning Runner. That would be at LIGHTNINGRUNNER. So that's Lightning Runner, all one word. I do still have Twitter. You can find me as Lightning Runner, same spelling, except the first I is a 1 because I am Elite Gamer, if you didn't know that already. But I'm not as active on Twitter nowadays, just because now I have Blue Sky, just like Michael does. So you can actually find me on Blue Sky as my new character, my pink dragon, Tongue Hai. So that is at tenghai.bluesky.social. And also, speaking of Blue Sky, the Fox and Burger podcast also now has a Blue Sky account as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be at FOXANDBURGER.bluesky.social for Fox and Burger on Blue Sky. So check us out there. Well, that was it for this year's wrap-up. So this has been the Fox and Burger podcast with me, Burger.
And I'm Michael the Matcha Fox.
And we will see you all next year in 2024. Goodbye, everyone.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.